It is Monday, December 8th. You're watching the Sick Podcast. Trust the process. And we are in the Sick Studios today. It's always nice to be in person with you, Snake. And I think it's going to be a really fun show.
Yeah.
Lots to dive into. Of course, the Montreal Canadiens are 2-2 in December. They currently sit third in the Atlantic Division, 1 point away from first place, however, with the Tampa Bay Lightning, who they play tomorrow night. The Laval Rocket are 16-7. They are first in the North Division in the AHL. They're doing pretty good. They lost, however, in Belleville, but you know what? They came back. They almost won the game. We're going to talk a little bit about Bryce Pickford today. Habs' third-round pick in 2025. He is absolutely shredding the WHL this season. He's a fun player. Another fun player, Snake, that we really enjoy. Alexander Zharovsky was selected to the KHL All-Star game as a rookie. Pretty crazy stuff. We're going to talk about him. And of course, the news broke today. Team Canada's roster for the World Juniors has been revealed, and Michael Hage is a part of it. We're going to talk about that a little later on. We're going to get to some mailbag questions from you fine folks and a whole lot more. And it all starts right here, right now.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. Trust the process. The sickest NHL prospect podcast with Snake and Shane.
With the 5th overall selection in the 2024 NHL Draft, the Montreal Canadiens are proud to select Ivan Demidov.
It's gonna be sick.
That's right. Producer Shane here, joined as always by my counterpart, Simon the Snake Boisvert. Snake, how are we feeling today?
Fantastic. Love being in the studio.
So do I. It's amazing. We got the Christmas tree. Shout out to Rosa for all the decorations here. It's feeling festive for December. We love it. The vibes are high at the Sick Studios. And the vibes are high, Snake, in Medicine Hat, where the Tigers captain and Habs prospect Bryce Pickford, right shot defenseman, 6'1", has 20 goals this season. He is second in the WHL for most goals, only behind JP Hulbert, who has 21. So he's almost the best scorer in the WHL this season as a defenseman, okay? And he obviously has the most points of any defenseman in the WHL. For a third-round pick, Snake, I mean, this is why I think a lot of people are, he's kind of in the conversation this weekend. I mean, he had a hat trick. Hello. Yeah. He had a hat trick. What a celebration, by the way. Took off his helmet, put it on the ice. Shout out to Bryce there. But wow. I mean, you told him about us when the Habs drafted him. He was one of your sleepers, right? You're very happy to get him.
Yeah.
He really impressed in the playoffs last year with Medicine Hat. This year, elevated role. He's the captain now. He's taken another step, Snake. It's impressive.
Yeah, obviously, I never paid too much attention to the 19-year-old season of a player because usually, they're older than the average player in the league, and it's kind of normal that they dominate.
Yeah.
However, it's always better when the guy does dominate than if he doesn't.
No, exactly. You'd be
so
worried there.
For me, I'm looking forward to seeing Pickford and Laval next year.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened with Pickford is that he wasn't drafted in his draft year when he was 17 years old.
Crazy.
And the reason was that he played for Seattle, and the year before he was 16 years old, he played for a team that won the championship in the WHL.
Mm-hmm.
And as a 16-year-old, obviously he was sheltered a little bit.
Yeah.
And the year after, it didn't go as well, which is often the case. When a team wins the championship in junior hockey, the year later, most of the guys are gone. And I think he was a whopping minus 36. And that didn't help.
He was.
His draft status. And often I say that it's very hard for players on either a great team or a bad team to be noticed.
Yeah.
And I think this is what happened. And last year, I'm watching him with Medicine Hat, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm not big on guys who are not drafted in their draft year.
Yeah.
I kind of lose sight of them, and I'm thinking, okay, this is over. But this guy, I said, he's getting better and better.
Mm.
And I saw him live at the Memorial Cup. Still thought he was very good. I said, okay, that's worth a second round pick, I would have said.
Oh, there you go.
I had
Good
him
value.
in my second round.
Mm.
And the Habs got him in the third. And not many third round picks make it to the NHL. But if there's a guy who can make it, it's Pickford.
Yeah.
Looking forward to his season in Laval next year. Now it's kind of interesting. He has more goals and assists.
That's
And the
it.
same thing in the playoffs last year. He had more goals and assists.
Yeah.
What does it say about him? Well, from what I saw, he's not your typical puck mover, playmaker defenseman.
Mm.
Okay, but he's good defensively. He skates well enough, and in the offensive zone, he's great.
Yeah.
So I don't know how many goals he could score in the NHL. I don't know what his role could be because we're still 2-3 years away from seeing Pickford, I think, in Montreal. But if he keeps scoring like that in Laval next year, they're gonna have to find a spot for him.
For sure.
And I think this is a guy who can, sometimes you have like offensive defenseman, defensive defenseman. I think he's sort of in between.
Mm-hmm.
And that type of player is useful because you can pretty much, the coach at some point can pretty much see what kind of role he can play in the NHL.
Okay.
Because when guys are too offensive, well, you're thinking, I'm thinking, just an example, Luca Cagnoni for the Sharks in the American Hockey League. Luca Cagnoni, if he makes it with the Sharks, it will be as an offensive defenseman.
Has to. Yeah.
He has to. And there are some other guys like Radim Murtka.
Mm.
You probably can foresee that he's going to be a defensive defenseman. Pickford, it's kind of a hybrid situation where basically as he gets, as he progresses and develops, it's going to be one of the two or a combination of both.
Interesting.
So let's see in Laval what happens next year. Probably the rookie I'm looking the most forward to seeing in Laval next year, assuming that Michael Hage starts the year in Montreal.
Yeah, you would assume. And Snake, it's funny you brought up that 2 years ago he was a minus 36 differential. Mm-hmm. This season he is a plus 29 in 28 games.
Yeah,
like the difference here is significant. And of course we tout the goal scoring ability as a defenseman. It's pretty impressive. But you mentioned the defensive side of the game as well. Like he's no slouch, right?
No.
He's not solely, a blue line in defenseman who doesn't really back check, doesn't take care of his own zone. He's actually really well rounded, right?
Well, he's not a monster, but he has decent size.
Yeah,
and that's why I say it's hard to project him in the NHL what he will do. But I think he has enough tools to at some point find his niche.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I said, he's not like stuck in some kind of a bubble where he's an offensive defenseman, he's a defensive defenseman. We'll see what happens. Look, I liked him. I saw him in person 5 games last year. I liked him, and it's good because at some point teams need a 3rd round pick, a 4th round pick here and there to make the team.
Yeah,
you can't just rely on 1st round picks. Because otherwise you have to make trades, then you lose players. You have to go to free agency. You might have bad contracts because you have no choice. You need to sign guys. And the risk of giving a player an overblown contract is very high because free agency is free agency. Players are older. They want term. There's other bidders. So you see a guy like Pickford and you're thinking, oh, well, I'll have Pickford for a few years on a cheap contract.
Mm-hmm.
And it's rare that I talk about these late round picks, after the 2nd round, because most of them don't make it. So I'll just shrug, a la Atos Koivu, who's also a 3rd round pick. But when I like a 3rd round pick, I like a 3rd round pick. I remember I liked Enstrom a lot 3 years ago.
There you go.
And so I think in terms of later round picks, so far the Habs seem to be doing a good job. Jacob Fowler also.
Oh.
Look, none of them is a regular in the NHL right now, so we don't know. But at least there's something you like. I like the upside. Logan Sawyer also, another 3rd round pick, I think.
Florian Jacki,
4th round pick. LG Mooney, 4th round pick. So at least there are guys that you look forward to seeing, and not just okay, first round pick, nothing else. First round pick, nothing else. You kind of look. We all make mistakes. There's always players who come out of nowhere, but generally after a draft, I can tell or not if I'm going to be enthusiastic or not about watching these players grow.
That's it.
That's pretty much the idea behind it. But look, in 4 or 5 years, we'll have the answer. Maybe my enthusiasm will have been totally, overblown.
Yeah.
Or it'll be like, hey, the Habs are getting some good later round picks.
Well, listen, when we see these kinds of numbers, they're not fluky, right? 20 goals in 28 games as a defenseman is ridiculous. And I'm pretty certain he'll keep on, maybe not that trajectory, but he'll still keep producing this season. And I'm looking forward to seeing Bryce Pickford with the Laval Rocket, hopefully as soon as next year. Snake, staying on now, the 2025 draft class.
Can I have like one last note on Pickford?
You can always have a last note.
Okay. WHL defenseman, age 19, who score lots of points. I'm always wary of.
Oh.
Yeah. Remember Josh Brook?
I do remember Josh Brook.
Yeah. He was supposed to be the next big thing because he was dominant at age 19.
That's fair.
So I think you have to be careful with the numbers. You have to look at how the guy plays. And I didn't trust Josh Brook at all to be an NHL player. I didn't think he would be an NHL player. I think I ended up being right. But Pickford, it's not really the numbers, it's how he plays.
Yeah.
That was my point.
That's
because some listeners who have known me for a long time, they might say, oh, you always say that WHL stats at age 19, they're overrated. Who cares? Yeah, that's what I usually say. Yeah. But nevertheless, I like what I see of Pickford on the ice, and could be an NHL.
There you have it.
That was my point. Sorry about that.
No, absolutely. It's a good point. And now on the 2025 draft class, I think there's another guy that has absolute NHL potential here. Yeah. We're talking about the first pick that the Habs made in the second round, that being Alexander Zharovsky, who was selected to play in the KHL All-Star game as a rookie. Okay, this has happened before, but it is still a rare occurrence, and it's always impressive when it does. It's 23 points in 26 games this season. We know he missed part of the beginning there with an injury while he was playing basketball or something. But since coming back, it's been consistent. It's been impactful. It's not a fluke, Snake. At this point, like, I think we can agree, like, okay, yeah, this kid has it. Like,
because he's been pretty consistent. And there are some games where he played less, which is normal. Well, normal. No. Which is what the KHL is about. You can never. These coaches sometimes I don't understand them, but at least with Zharovsky, they gave him a chance.
Yes,
because even Demidov, there were some games where he didn't play that much. Mishkov was kicked out of his team basically and loaned to another team. Okay, maybe Mishkov was a different case, but as for the reasons why they didn't keep him. But usually 18-year-old guys in the KHL, they do not play.
That's true.
They do not play, and they keep playing Zharovsky.
They don't have no choice. He's producing. He's helping the team win.
Yeah, and he's good. Look, he's. I think he has top 6 potential, and I still can't believe that no one took him in the first round. When you look at the list, after number 20, you're okay. There were some good players chosen, but you're thinking, okay, no Zharovsky. I mean, I like the Sharks scouting staff, but they pick Simon Wong ahead of Zharovsky. I know they want a big defenseman. I get all this, but when you draft talent.
Yeah.
You can always fix holes by trading talent for what you need. And especially these big defensemen, defensive defensemen, you don't know how they're going to develop.
Yeah.
Forwards are easier to predict. So very often you draft a big guy and you're thinking, oh, this is going to be, our rock. He's going to play 23, 24 minutes. And then the guy ends up in the AHL.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's going to be the case with Wong, because I don't dislike Wong as a player, but I'm shocked that when teams pass on talent in a draft.
Mm.
So I know the Habs had him ranked in the middle of the first round.
And they traded to move up to get
Yeah,
him.
because they were probably thinking at some point, okay, we couldn't get him because we traded the picks to the Islanders, 16 and 17. But then you start getting nervous because you're crossing your fingers and you're thinking, okay, he's not going to last until like 40 or 42, because you look at the list of players and it really shrinks.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were probably holding their breath when the Sharks made the pick.
Yeah.
And then they got their guy.
Yeah.
So, look, he's under contract for another year. Probably will stay there. Hopefully becomes even better.
Mm-hmm.
And the year after, I don't see Zharovsky going through Laval.
Straight to the NHL.
I see Zharovsky going straight to the NHL. First year, you're learning the ropes. And probably at age 21, 22, he'll become an impact player, I would say, by the age of 22.
So, Snake, we know that the KHL is, one of the top leagues in the world, right?
Yeah. Number 3 in my book.
Exactly. It's still not close to the NHL, but still, it's a very hard league to play in.
Yeah.
Now, my question to you here, last thing we'll talk about on Zharovsky and we'll move on, but I'm curious what you think still needs to improve for him to make that transition to the NHL. Is there any aspect of his game that you'd like to see him, be a little better on?
Yeah, I would say, and that's probably what made him drop. His skating was not elite or even great. And I would like to see him, maybe quickness.
Okay.
He has great hands.
Yeah. Understatement.
But maybe the pace of play or quickness. I don't know what, the exact word to describe. It's not really the skating. It's not really the quickness. It's not really the pace of play, but it's a little bit of all three.
Mm-hmm.
And probably there's another word for it, because the NHL plays fast.
Does it ever?
And so maybe, that's it. But I think this is going to come.
Yeah. Because
some players you're thinking, okay, it's not going to come. But I can see that this guy is still developing, because remember, last year at this time, no one was talking about him.
It's true.
He was in the MHL, which is the junior league in Russia. And he was not on the radar. He started being on the radar after the holidays. Mm-hmm. So what I like about this player is that he's always progressed. And usually guys who always progress, they keep progressing.
Yeah.
What I don't like is like when there's a drop from the age of 16 to 17, and then you're starting questioning, has the guy plateaued? So I like the progression. I think Zharovsky, it's just a matter of adapting. He adapted from the MHL to the KHL. Now he's going to adapt to the KHL to the NHL. Might take one season. The rookie season, let's not expect too much, because the NHL is fast and furious.
Get bigger than that. Yeah.
It's fast and furious. He has to get bigger also.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, that's not a weakness. It's just, look, you go to the gym, you mature as a person.
It's normal.
Your body gets more adult, let's call it.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, that's not even something to talk about. He's tall.
6'1". Yep.
He's 6'1". So, at some point he'll play probably at 180, 185. Perfect. Looking forward to seeing him. And he's my, it's a guy that I'm looking forward to, because when I have these little, let's call them sleeper picks, basically not the obvious guys, are like top 5, top 10. I'm very, I like being right, because, when I'm wrong, I admit that I'm wrong, but when I'm right, I like to brag about it.
You should.
So we'll see in a few years. We'll see.
That's awesome. Well, yeah, we'll keep tabs on Zharovsky, of course, as we have throughout the season, and we will keep doing that till the end of the season. Snake, the big news today. And, I think we'll talk about it some more on Thursday and following shows, but really, Team Canada, right, for the World Juniors, the roster has been announced, and here it is. I'll read off the names for our listeners. By the way, if you didn't know, you can listen to us if you don't like our faces. We don't take offense as long as you listen. We appreciate you. But At forward, no surprise there. Gavin McKenna, Michael Misa has been loaned to the team. That's excellent news. Porter Martone, Michael Hage, Jet Luchenko, Tija Ginla, Cole Reshny, Cole Baudouin, Liam Greentree, Caleb Desnoyers, Brady Martin, Carter Bear, Jake O'Brien, Braden Coots, and Sam O'Reilly at forward. On defense now, Kashawn Aitchison, Zane Perek, Cameron Reed, Harrison Brunicki, Keaton Verhoff, Ben Danford, Jackson Smith, and Ethan McKenzie, and draft-eligible Carson Carrolls. That's interesting.
Yeah.
And now in net, I think that's pretty good stuff there. Carter George, Jack Ivankovic, and Joshua Ravensbergen. Obviously, on Mondays, we talk Habs. So we're going to talk about Michael Hage here a little bit. Let me ask you first and foremost, what you think his role for Team Canada could be. Judging by the names that you see here, right? Where would he slot in? What would his responsibilities look like?
Well, you know how they build a team, top 6, bottom 6. So on the bottom 6, you're going to have guys who profile as bottom 6 players in the NHL, or guys who are good scorers in junior hockey, but they only want 6 offensive forwards, which I never understood. Yeah. So look, I think Hage is going to be there as an offensive guy, because if you look at the team, you can bet like Cole Baudouin, Jet Luchenko are probably going to be bottom 6 players with a role, as they say.
I agree.
You know, kill penalties, play in the last minute of the game if it's tight. Maybe a checking line against the top line.
Yep.
From Sweden or the US. So I'm thinking, okay, they have 15 forwards. Sam O'Reilly probably is going to be part of that group. So that's 3 of them. And remember, from what they said, 15 forwards were taken to camp. 1 will be cut.
Yep.
And more will be cut if the NHL sends back some players, which I doubt. I don't think Ben Kindell is going to be sent by the Penguins.
No chance.
And forget about Beckett Seneca and Macklin Celebrini. So I think we pretty much have the roster set. Michael Misa, we talked about it in last week. He played well in the American Hockey League this week in his conditioning stint. I watched his shifts. I think he should be in San Jose, but good for Team Canada.
Yeah.
I think so. You see Misa, Hage, Ginla, Jake O'Brien, they're going to be offensive players.
For sure.
So what are they going to do with the rest? You know, there are some guys like Carter Bear. Is Carter Bear going to be used as a bottom 6 player or as a top 6 guy, although he can score? What are they going to do with Caleb Desnoyers? Caleb Desnoyers is a good 2-way player. Brady Martin is a good 2-way player. So, but whereas there are some guys who are, I wouldn't say strictly offensive player, but mostly offensive players.
Yeah.
So you see Hage, Misa, Gavin McKenna. That's 3 of them. Porter Martone, I think, is going to be on the top 6. He's having a good season. TJ Ginla, he's a scorer, but I think he could fill another role. Lime Greentree, good scorer, but I think he could fill another role. Jake O'Brien, I think, is an offensive guy. I mentioned it.
Yes.
Braden Coots, who started the year in Vancouver, also could be on a bottom 6 or a reserve guy, because remember, you can have 14 forwards on the bench, I think, but mostly 12 of them are going to play, and the top 6 is probably going to get the most minutes, probably 30 to 40 minutes a game for the top 6. So I think Michael Hage, just guessing on what we see here, will be a top 6 player, and this is what you want.
Exactly. That is what you want. Now, I mean, let's have fun with it, right? If you were the coach for Team Canada, first question is he a center or winger? And second question is, who are his line mates?
Oh my God. Okay, this is a tough call. I wouldn't know what to do with this. But I would try to, because I think Michael Misa is going to be a center.
Yeah.
Who else could play? You know, guys like Caleb Desnoyers, but then I doubt he's going to be a top 6 player because he's 18. He's not 19. You know what? I would try and pair him with a scorer. So maybe a guy like Iginla.
Yeah, that could be fun.
Yeah.
That could
Because
be
he's a
fun.
good puck distributor, I
Yeah.
find. So yeah, TJ Ginla. McKenna, perhaps.
Oh,
Well, McKenna's a
Yeah.
winger.
yeah, he is.
We always see him as a playmaker, but he's a winger.
He is. Yeah.
So, but I think the best fit right now could be Ginla. But look, Misa O'Brien can play center. Look, it's a very tough call.
It is.
It's a very tough call. They're gonna have training camp. They're gonna see what works, what doesn't,
Yeah.
and chemistry with the national rosters.
hmm
When players have never played together, we can't guess right now.
No,
We
that's
can't
it.
guess what is going to click, what is going to work.
Mm.
And the advantage of a team like Team USA is that a lot of these guys have played together at age 16 and 17 with the development program. So they probably have ideas in the US what to do. There are some returnees from last year.
Yep.
Team Canada, every year, it's a new team
Mhm.
because they mostly take 19-year-old players. And the younger players that they take usually end up in the NHL.
Yeah, that's it.
So it's not easy, but I think I wasn't very optimistic the last couple of years. I think, look, I would have invited Justin Carbonneau,
Mm,
probably, replacing one of the
yeah.
bottom six guys that I mentioned. I think Justin Carbonneau is a goal scorer.
Hey, what a
He
season
has
he's having.
drive.
Yeah.
He's a goal per game guy. Look, that I don't understand. Now, could a guy like Justin Poirier have been taken? He's 19 years old, he's going well in college
Maine.
in
Yep.
Maine, but at some point, look, you could easily have two teams.
That's it. I mean, honestly, compared to last year, where I remember where the roster was announced and there was a
Oh,
lot of
boy.
disappointment, a lot of
yeah.
shock.
Oh yeah,
I think this roster is like it's pretty solid. Like
it's
you
solid.
know, I don't really think we can complain much about this. And of course, we're going to dive into it a lot more as the World Juniors approach. Training camp moves on, and we'll kind of see some combinations start to arise. But before we move on, Snake, there are a few Habs players, right? It's Monday, so we're talking Habs.
Mhm.
There are other Habs players invited or have made their World Junior team. LJ Mooney was invited for Team USA, and Atos Koivu for Team Finland.
And Carlos Sandel for Germany.
Correct.
He plays in the queue for
Correct.
Halifax. Good stay-at-home defenseman. I think he's going to make the team. He probably would not have made Team Canada or Team USA, but for Germany, it's a good experience for him. Atos Koivu. Look, Atos Koivu, not one of my favorite prospects. He's 19 years old. He might score a few goals because, it's a 19-year-old tournament and
Mhm.
he's going to be probably playing on the top six for Finland. But I don't put too much stock in what he does. I don't see a future in the NHL for him. Maybe in Laval.
Yeah.
I don't see a future in the NHL. So you see, I don't like every Habs pick.
No,
by
no.
the way,
Oh,
because
I'm aware.
and I don't dislike every Habs pick because honestly, sometimes I read comments and people think that he doesn't like any of the Habs picks, and some people say he's a Habs cheerleader.
Which one is it?
Yeah, no. So I'm not crazy about the. Should Pickford have been invited?
Oh,
Eh?
he is 19. He is 19.
That's the question. I think he should have been because the defense group is fine.
Mhm.
But I think I would have taken Pickford over a guy like Ethan McKenzie.
Yeah.
Who went undrafted, he's having a good season in the WHL with Edmonton. But I think Pickford is better. Ben Denford, I think they want this big defensive defenseman. Not crazy about him, but they want a dominant presence. Keelan Verhoff invited. Love it.
That's
Draft
good.
eligible player. It's good to see draft
good.
eligible player in the tournaments. And finally, in net, for the first time in years, it's very, very solid. I saw Ivankovic last week live for Michigan.
Yeah, he's got it.
I would give him the net. Ravensburgen, Sharks pick, first round pick is good. Carter George also. My pick would be Ivankovic.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, we'll keep tabs on that, and we'll dive in some more on the World Juniors as the shows go along. Stay tuned. You want to be subscribed, okay? If you want to hear everything about that, you know what to do. Snake, before we move on, I think it's the perfect time to thank our partners who make this show possible. I want to start off with our friends at Cheapest T-Shirts. very simple, people. If you're looking for the cheapest prices on wholesale apparel in Canada, you will find them at cheapesttshirts.ca. They are proudly Canadian and trusted by thousands of customers from coast to coast. They deliver unbeatable value every day. You'll always get the cheapest prices, plus same-day shipping and even next-day delivery, so your order arrives fast. You can enjoy free shipping on larger orders and simple, easy-to-use website that makes online ordering a breeze. Get the cheapest deals in Canada today at cheapesttshirts.ca. And a big thank you, of course, to our friends at Betway. Don't select a bust with Betway and get a deposit matchup bonus up to $300 on your first deposit. You can scan the QR code on the screen or click on the link in the details section to create an account and redeem your welcome offer. The offer is only available for new customers. Terms and conditions apply. The offer is not available in Ontario, and you must be 18 years or older. Please play responsibly. All right, with that being said, I do believe it's time to go digging in the mailbag. We have 3 questions today, and the first one comes from Emil Schellborn. Thank you for the question. He's asking, with revisionist talk about Edmonton's current goaltending, the trade at the draft that got Minnesota Jesper Wallstedt is being scrutinized, as it was the night of the draft. I remember. They say that Edmonton was lasered in on the local star Sebastian Cossa, but Detroit grabbed him first. What did Snake see as a scout in these 2 goalies at the time? What do you think about Edmonton passing on Wallstedt when you consider that they were actually comfortable drafting a goalie prospect in the 2021 draft? Interesting question, Snake.
Yeah, it's an interesting question because very often when we do a redraft and criticize picks 5-6 years later, it's very it's very easy to criticize.
Hindsight 2020, yeah.
Hindsight is 2020, but in this case,
we knew it the night of.
We knew it the night, and we're thinking, what are they thinking? Before I get to the 2 goalies, I just want to say that my reasoning, because I'm trying to read Edmonton's mind, I think at the time they probably figured, okay, we prefer Cossa. We're not crazy about Wallstedt. Wallstedt might take 4 or 5 years, and it did.
Yeah.
And right now we're in a win now mode. So we'll get a goalie. They took Xavier Bocco instead. I think at this point of the draft, Bocco was more of a question mark as a future NHLer than closer to a sure thing. So I was shocked.
Yeah.
Because you might as well take the goalie Wallstedt, wait for him 5 years. Or if he's developing well, then you can trade him perhaps for an established goalie from a rebuilding thing, whatever. I mean, he's an asset. So I think Edmonton really screwed up. I don't think it would have changed anything for the Cup in 2024 and 2025. But at least right now, they would have their goalie with McDavid still there for 3 years. Now, the 2 goalies, the one I preferred was Wallstedt. But I like both. I think Cossa, big guy.
Huge.
Probably helped by the fact that he was playing on a good team, UHL. So, and then he started his pro career in the ECHL because there were too many goalies in the Detroit system. I think he's progressing okay. I mean, goalies, you don't really know before the age of 24, 25. But I thought Wallstedt had a higher ceiling. I found that he was a little bit quicker. And did I see a star in those 2 goalies? Look, I don't know if I saw necessarily a star goalie, but I thought they were worthy of a first-round pick. And yes, Edmonton should have picked, Wallstedt.
Yeah.
So that's the answer.
Yeah, I think.
But look, we thought the same thing on draft night.
Exactly.
Everybody was saying the same thing.
That's the thing. Like we were all kind of scratching our heads. Like, what are they doing? Like Wallstedt is right there for the taking, and they trade away the pick. Anyways,
and it was not a strong draft. So the players, if you're going to take a Zharovsky, let's say at 20, then okay,
Yeah.
fine. But nothing against Xavier Bourgault, but there was really a drop-off in that draft.
He's not
Because
even
of
with the
COVID.
Oilers.
Because of COVID. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, thank you for the question. Moving on to the next one. This one comes from Intrusive Thoughts Undefeated. Great name. Aside from Jacob Fowler, which of the Habs goalie prospects interests you the most? There are many to choose from, Snake.
Yeah.
So, which one are you most keen on?
Oh my God, there's quite a few. Obviously, Jacob Fowler, but that's the obvious answer.
Yeah.
Volokin in Russia is not bad. We've talked about him on the show, and we also talked about another guy, which intrigues me now even more. And he's a really late bloomer in terms of junior hockey. It's Cournoyer.
Yep, Alexis
Cournoyer. Playing college right now. Look, this is a guy who last year at this time was playing the Maritime Junior League.
Yeah.
Maritime Junior League.
Yeah.
Undrafted. And basically, Cape Breton calls him up. He ends the season like very, very well. And this year, he decides to go play college. He's still very good. So that's a guy who really progressed well. Could be he could be onto something.
Yeah.
Radkov, who plays in Boisvert, I think he's good. He's part of the stable of. I like the fact that he came to play junior hockey this year.
Yeah.
He's part of the stable. But I think right now, I would say after Fowler, I would say Cournoyer is my number 2.
That's a fun one.
Yeah.
That's a fun one.
I like him. Look, he's far from the NHL as every goalie that age. But could we have Fowler Cournoyer duo in 4 or 5 years? That would be great.
We've preached this on this show multiple times, but the more goalies you have in the system, the better.
Yeah.
Right? Because you never know which one's going to pan out. Like Connor Hellebuck was what, a 5th round pick or something like that?
Yeah, 6th, I think.
So at that time, Ren, right? Which Jets fan or even member of the Jets organization thought that he would be not only a Vezina winner, but a Hart Trophy winner? That's why we preach draft goalies.
Because odds are more in favor of late round goalies than late round forwards.
Always.
There's a Jesper Bratt here and there in the 6th round, but it's a needle in a haystack.
Exactly.
So basically, you get to round 4, round 5th, and you look at your list and you think, okay, this is a 2nd round caliber goalie, let's say, because that's how teams make their lists. They try and put place a round or a ceiling on a player.
Yeah.
And then you get to the 6th round, 5th round. Hey, this is a good goalie. He has more of a chance to make it than this forward from that junior team.
Precisely.
Who probably will end up in the East Coast League or Europe.
So
yeah, goalies, draft goalies.
Yeah, Dustin Wolf was a 7th round pick. Like
another one.
We can keep going on with these.
We went through this
here,
on a show last week or 2 weeks ago.
Exactly. And you know what? Let's ask the viewers as well that same question. Which goalie prospect, aside from Fowler, are you most excited about? Let us know in the comments section. Lastly, our third question comes from 2-Bit Warrior. Is asking, hey, Snake, what do you think is the ceiling for Alexander Zharovsky? Talked about him a little early on, but ceiling, the top, what could he achieve if everything goes well?
Shane, before we move on, because our listeners are surely going to mention it, I forgot one name. Quentin Miller.
Denver University.
Yes. Quentin Miller doing
excellent.
Great.
Yeah.
It's
a good point.
That's another one.
It's a good point.
So we have 4 guys. Radkov, Volokin, Quentin Miller, and Cournoyer. But I still prefer Cournoyer. But I want to mention Quentin Miller, who unfortunately was supposed to play with Rimouski in the Memorial Cup. He was injured.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's too bad. And Habs drafted him a couple of years ago. Yeah.
So now, on to the Zharovsky
Zharovsky. Ceiling. Okay, let's put a ceiling and a floor. I love doing this.
Yeah.
Ceiling, top line forward, 70 points, 75 points. I'm not good with points, okay? So don't hold it against me. But ceiling top line.
Okay.
A guy who can play like 20, 22 minutes and be an impact player on a very good team.
Okay.
Floor. Middle of the lineup forward, 40, 45 points.
As a floor, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
You'll take that as a floor.
Middle of the lineup, yeah. Score 40, 45 points.
And
That's
most likely, he'll find himself somewhere in between, right?
Usually that's what happens to players. But if I had to bet, I think he's going to be closer to the top line than the third line.
Excellent.
So he might end up, on the second line playing 18 minutes a game, but some power play time, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm very bullish on this guy.
Hard not to be.
Yeah.
It's hard not to be when you see what he's done this season in the KHL. The numbers back that up. He's a special player, and he's going to be coming with the Montreal Canadiens in 2 years' time. Got to be patient, folks. But in the meantime, okay, you can tune in to the Sick Podcast, Trust the Process, where we'll talk about him. We'll talk about all the other prospects and a whole lot more. You know what to do, people. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, hit the hype button. Tell it to your friends. Tell it to your mom, your aunt, your uncle, your grandma, whatever. It's Christmas, okay? You're going to have gatherings. Say, hey, you know what? I've been watching this show. It's pretty good. It's called Trust the Process with Snake and Shane. Snake, anything else to add before we get out of here?
No, on Thursday, we're going to talk extensively about junior rosters. And also, I'm going to Trois-Rivières on Wednesday for the World Junior A. Sweden brought a team of 17-year-old players. Yesterday, they were dominant against the United States. It's going to be interesting. There might be 3-4 first-round picks. And you know what? Depending on where the Habs finish in the standings, maybe one of them will end up with the Habs next year. Because they all seem to be, I think they're going to be all chosen between, 13 and 25.
There you have it.
Yeah.
That's exciting. That's exciting. So you know what to do there. We're going to be back on Thursday right here. And we're going to try to be in the Sick Studios again. What a great setup we have. We're a very team. Snake, I mean, this was another fantastic show. I had a lot of fun. And thank you. Thank you to Juliana back at Master Control, Sammy and Yellow, Rosa, the whole shebang. Everybody's A1, amazing. I'm producer Shane. This has been another edition of the Sick Podcast. Trust the process. We'll see you Thursday.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast, Trust the Process on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.